I mean, I don't understand how even Twitter, for all of their partisanship and discrimination against conservatives, could release a statement like this with a straight face. I mean, they willfully misinterpreted President Trump's tweet and put it behind a warning shield, and yet they allow the leader of Iran to threaten to commit genocide against Israel, but that's okay because it's just saber rattling.
Yeah, there's obviously a political bias in play here, and that's not surprising given the makeup of a lot of the employees. Not to mention the C-suite, but I actually want to focus on the employees of these companies because I think that the problems that conservatives are having with big tech companies and censorship are a direct downstream consequence of allowing the left to take over both the K-12 and the university system. When we train an entire generation up in the ways of leftism, we shouldn't be surprised that when they graduate, the craziness doesn't stop at the campus door, right? They graduate, they become employees of Google or Twitter and our Fortune 500 companies, and this kind of, sort of leftist pervasive bias monoculture continues to spread.
Right. And I mean, I think you're largely right. I mean, there was this mistaken idea among conservatives that, even though we had leftist indoctrination in all the way down to elementary school, honestly, it's not just our college system, but particularly on colleges, that once the young people hit the real world, they'd learn that all that leftism and wokeism and political correctness just didn't fly here. And that theory turned out to be incorrect. What actually happened in reality was the young people who were indoctrinated in the wokeness and the leftism and the political correctness, they brought that with them to the real world, and now they're remaking the real world.
That's exactly right, and you're right to highlight I think the canard that conservatives told ourselves for years. Oh, like we'll enjoy watching these blue-haired SJWs sort of impact on the corporate culture and figure out that they can't whine all the time and they can't bring their critical race theory struggle sessions to the corporate boardroom. Well, that just hasn't been true. What's happened instead is the rise of woke capital, right? It's been the rise of companies that are more than willing to listen to their employees. It's usually their younger employees. We saw that civil war happen in the New York Times with the sort of older generation of liberals, and I use that word advisedly, fighting their leftist counterparts who are 10, 15 years younger. We're going to see that play out across the private sector because you can't just undo a decade and a half or more of leftist indoctrination. This is a generation that believes that America is evil, believes that conservatism is racist, bigoted, and backwards, and they're going to act on those beliefs, whether they're in the university or whether they're in the Twitter boardroom.
Yeah. And I guess I personally find it particularly disappointing from Twitter because I'm an avid Twitter user. I love the platform as a consumer, and I hate to see them do this. Like I said, because I do love it, and I don't think that they'll last long if they continue to do this.